Hi, everyone, and welcome to the weekly wrap up, a teeny tiny little show where I share my personal choice of top 5 educational tweets from the past week. Why? Well, because Twitter is a goldmine of tips, hacks, and info. And if you don't have a personal learning network, or if you're a little wary of Twitter, please allow me to be your guide because social media isn't for everybody. And frankly, you're just super busy. So I'm more than happy to curate good things for you. Now let's get to it with the top 5 tweets from the past week in no particular order. Grading essays is such a one-way street, right? As the teacher, you get crushed by the overwhelming amount of feedback required from your end, and it can take you to a dark place, which is PS why I always had a good Pinot Noir nearby. But what if, like a Pennsylvania English teacher, Brett Vogelsinger promotes, we ask students for pre-feedback from them. What I most love about this idea is how it has the potential to change the mindset of the quote grader, and that each essay now becomes humanized before we even dig into it, which is a pretty cool way to change up the grading argument right now. So thank you for this, Brett. There's a very hard truth we as educators presently face. Our kids are not okay. Anxiety, depression, and suicide are at heartbreaking highs, and many of us feel helpless to be who students need right now. Don't you wish there was an instruction manual? Luckily, there is. One Trusted Adult offers books, curriculum, and programs that help school staff learn to build stronger connections and healthier boundaries with young people. I'm sure we all had that one teacher, that one trusted adult whom we remember as a port in the storm. I know I do, and I can confirm that I was one for one of my students. Now, more than ever, our kiddos need us. Go to onetrustedadult.com to learn more. I'll admit it. This next tweet jolted my sad little non math brain, but in such a meaningful way. Michigan math teacher Tara Maynard devised this genius level critical thinking activity with math vocabulary. Students have to create sentences using 3 math terms to make one complete sentence that isn't only mathematically correct, but I assume grammatically correct too. This former English teacher tips her hat to you, Tara. This idea perfectly aligns with the concept of students taking learning into their own hands, and I bet the retention levels were greater too. Can you assess creativity? How do you assess creativity? High school art teacher Turnip Parsnip shares some insight into that question while also sharing her grading rubric. As she notes, when I have students assess themselves, they're usually pretty honest. This idea of having students self and pre-assess, very similar to Brett's earlier idea, allows for, I think, more honesty, more communication, and more trust in our relationship with students. Be sure to visit this tweet to see this example and another one that Blaster of Art has for you. And finally, here's a simple way to share with all kiddos, big and little, just how massive and uncertain the online world can be. A teacher from the UK, Miss Bly, tweeted out this photo as an experiment to show how quickly and far posts can spread. Not only did it receive over 23,000 likes and over 6,000 retweets, but some respondents provided real life examples of how to data mine, plagiarize, and trick original posters. But of course, there's also a lot of humanity tucked into these comments as well. Instead of simply talking about online safety, Miss Bly immersed her kiddos in it, and I'm sure it's a lesson they'll never forget. And that's it. The top 5 finds on Twitter from the past week. I hope you find them useful for your teacher life. Links from today's show are below. Feel free to share this video with your colleagues or to use in TBTs, teacher-based teams, and faculty meetings. If you need anything in the way of free coaching or my micro learning opportunities, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact info is in the show notes too. I'm Stephanie DeMichael, learning designer and instructional coach with the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. I'll see you next week.